My vanity light going here, like an old man. There we go.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Phil from Zaid Comics. I'm the writer and co-creator of Magic Cop, which is on Indiegogo right now. And of course, I'm just one half of the two best looking brothers in all of comics. And today, this is another episode of Comics Great, the new show that I'm doing with new creators that have books on Indiegogo, talking about them, getting to know them. And today, we are joined by the creator of Captain Love, Mr. Drew E. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing good. I am privileged to be here. I actually back your Magic Cop book, so
That's right.
It's cool to be on your show and sit here and talk about our books.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
It's not like masturbating at all. Just everybody know, it's not like masturbating at all.
Yeah, but I reached out to you, wanted to get you on here. Saw you were on Vinny's channel last night. Vinny, great guy, and that's the great thing about the community. Everybody is supporting each other. Just like Malin says, you got to grab an oar and start paddling. So I started, doing these little Comics Great episodes. Keeping them short and simple, getting to the meat and potatoes of the creators and the book. So the first thing I really want to talk about is how did you get into comics in general and then creating comics?
All right. Well, I mean, getting into comics, I guess we can talk about that as like a fan first,
Yeah,
so when I was a small child, like, I guess like 5, 6, silly putty and comics were like the most entertaining thing there was for me, probably.
Yeah, sure.
You'd be able to take the silly putty, put it on the comic, and then go over there and find another piece of paper and rub it off onto that as well. Sometimes, it was really annoying to my mother and my sister and my father, and but I got a little older and I discovered the heavy metal comic, and then I became obsessed with comics.
Yeah, sure.
Because heavy metal comic is like the best ever. I can't think of anything that can compete with that since I discovered it. I mean, I had like the X-Men came out, and I remember that when that came out, and that was cool. And then there was like the answer to X-Men, which was Alpha Force, which I thought was all right, but it was kind of lame.
Yeah.
The thing about Marvel and DC that drove me nuts is that there was like, it was hit and miss. You weren't allowed to read the comic before you bought it.
Yeah.
So it was hit and miss. And sometimes the writing was really dumbed down, you know? And I didn't notice it so much when I was like, 8, but when I got to like 11, I was like, this is not even, I feel like I'm insulting myself by reading this.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I love heavy metal. I'm a big fan of heavy metal. I'm a huge Simon Bisley fan, and he did, some covers for heavy metal. So really dove into his stuff, and that's great. How did you transition into creating?
Okay, well, that was actually something that happened kind of sideswiped. I as I grew up and I matured, I actually went towards music as my creative influence, and I actually played in several rock and roll bands and toured actually in a cover / originals band, toured all over the country for a few years, and had all those really good adventures, and got burned out on that pretty hard. And then I was like, okay, I'm sick of being poor, you know. So I came back to Fresno, California, and started actually making money for a change, and then what I had to have my outlets, so I actually did another band here, and then other things, but then I got into making music videos for bands, and then I got into other filmmaking and skit making, and I actually was a graphic design and a web developer professionally. And then this is relevant because back in 2005, YouTube was basically born. And I actually got an email from Chad, who was one of the creators of YouTube, asking me to come and check out his website.
Wow.
like way back then. And that's when I started YouTube. I started my first channel way back then. That channel still exists. I don't post videos on that channel that I first signed up with, because they weren't really channels back then. They were just profiles.
Sure.
So that all existed. And then when I was doing YouTube comedy, I really developed my whole like directing and filmmaking and skit writing. But the writing skits transitioned to writing short movies, which transitioned to writing movies, which, basically made me want to write a short sci-fi for myself, a 30-minute sci-fi movie, low budget, super easy, small cast, just for fun. And you see, I was on my YouTube comedy channel, I was doing it as Drew Love. I used Love as like a stage name because my last name nobody could pronounce, and at that time Mr. E sounded too pretentious for comedy,
Sure.
And I had a company named Mr. E Studios, which is, my last name is spelled Eash. It's pronounced Ish as if it was spelled Ish, so it confuses everybody. So I don't even bother with it anymore.
Pretty confusing.
Yeah. So writing the Captain Love story, I have a business partner for my media corporation, which is like an umbrella company for a lot of different stuff that we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he told me, he read it and he was all like, "This is really brilliant. You have to turn this into a feature film. This is really, really good."
Yeah.
So I ended up writing it to be, 165-page full feature film thing.
Yeah.
And then we were going to get it funded, and I had to get an illustrator to do my storyboards.
Sure. Yeah.
And the backstory to the character, which was Captain Love in the movie, wasn't really addressed. And it was just, it was a movie, and then that stuff was kind of like mysterious, wasn't really told. And and then he suggested that I write a graphic novel to tell the backstory that wasn't included in the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought that was freaking brilliant, because not because it would be so awesome to write a graphic novel, which is something that immediately like lit up in me. And I had all these flashbacks of heavy metal, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
I was like, Den, and I was so it just excited the hell out of me. And so I talked to my business partner about it, and he was all like, "Yeah, let's do that up. And we can actually, throw that as marketing budget, blah, blah, blah." And we didn't, throw it as marketing budget. It ended up coming out of my pocket. But I wrote the movie, and then we had the first, illustrator was the storyboard guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the book, and then he started working on it, and then he had a drug problem, so that like died halfway through.
Ooh.
And that was and we had paid him too much. We were paying him like what I have discovered now is like top level pay in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's something that you'd never know until you get into the industry. Like, I've dealt with that also. Like, I've had friends that are concept artists, and paying them over what, regular comic artists make, just because I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I was ignorant, and he had a good idea, and he was doing good on the storyboards, which there wasn't a lot. We actually, kept it short just to, help pitch the movie. But he saw me as somebody who didn't, know, and he took advantage of the situation. I found out he was working on other people's stuff and doing heavy drugs and not getting my stuff done. And, so he wasn't meeting his deadlines. He was supposed to do 3 to 5 pages a week, and he was barely doing 2, And then and that's on average. There were weeks there was nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, sure. I've been there too, man. But you're here now.
So I found another illustrator. It's the one that I have now, and he's awesome. Mm-hmm. His name is Andrea Barmita. He's Italian, and he kicks butt. The stuff he does for Captain Love is 10 times better than that illustrator. So I went through a nightmare to get here. Mm-hmm. But my love for comics, my love for this Captain Love concept, I'm real passionate about it, so I'm hoping that it really does well. Yeah,
and I can tell that you're passionate about it. You're kind of like a jack of all trades. You have your hands in graphics, in music. I was in a cover band for a while. That was one of my big passions. Was singing on stage. Love that and miss that. But writing, is also a huge passion of mine. And so I'm doing comics now, which is what I want to do. And it seems like you have a lot of passion in you for a lot of things, and I think that works well in a writer and creator, because you have so many different experiences you'd pull from and put into these stories, which is awesome. Shout out to Hex Box in the chat.
Hey, Hex Box. Wait. Since Hexbox is in the chat, we have to talk about a specific thing that's involved with this book, thanks to Hexbox.
Is it the Flash Gordon does a porno feature?
No, but I love that concept. I might have to use that pitch line.
Yeah.
We have a stretch goal that we came up with specifically involving Hexbox. So
Really?
yeah, there's a character in the book who's a queen of Venus, and she's always surrounded by her slave girls, and we'll hit that picture when it's on the campaign.
It reminds me of Hexbox.
And Hexbox is going to be drawn by Vinny, the Boner King of Comicscape.
Yeah, Boner King.
Is going to draw Hexbox as a slave girl when we do a pinup of the Queen of Venus. So it's going to be super sexy. I'm going to be pushing Vinny to go over the top because this is Captain Love. So, we're going to see how racy we can actually get it. And everybody's going to get it. If we get to 15K, we're going to get that done. And everybody's going to find that pinup shipped to them, everybody who backs the campaign. So.
That's okay. I'm going to have to back now. So let's get on to this art. And if you can, a little pitch here for Captain Love.
All right. So for those people who don't know yet, which is probably a lot of people, Captain Love is a space trucker and former war hero who is accompanied by a rogue artificial intelligence and together they reluctantly find themselves into adventures that require them to save the solar system. This particular book is this backstory of Captain Love. It tells how Captain Love meets Spade, and then after they meet, she basically finds out from talking to him, which gives us a good story of how he became the hero of the cleansing, and the legend that surrounds him of how he was cursed by a voodoo princess and can live forever.
Voodoo, I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. This art is great, and Hex was right. Totally
right there you have the in the red dress that one. That's the Queen of Venus right there. So
really cool. Let's see, we'll blow that up a little bit. Yeah, wow. And Hex nailed it right on the head. It looks like gives you that Flash Gordon feel. Captain Love is jacked out of his mind, which is I want those. That look for my heroes, something to aspire to be. And Captain Love's got it. Totally digging it. You got that mature rating, I could see.
Yes, sir.
Blood, sex appeal, everything that we want in a comic here. This is awesome.
Yeah. Violence, sex, adventure, spaceships,
ponytails,
hot chicks, strong women, sexy women, strong dudes, dead dudes, scientists,
this is really
programmers, a little bit of everything. Yeah, I hope that people really relate to the Captain Love character. He's like, he's an anti-hero who kind of just stumbles into everything. You know what I mean? He really has no intention to be a hero. He just happens to be one.
Yeah, that's good. And something like that makes the character more relatable. Because we've all had these instances where things just occur and happen to us, and it makes that character pushes that theme forward that we can relate to. I love this T-shirt design. All you need is love. Totally dig that.
Thank you.
Got some trading cards here too.
Yes. Yes. Those and you can actually just want to make sure that everybody knows that if you want to have a complete set of trading cards, this is the only time I'm going to be offering all 9 together during this campaign. So
really cool. And
you will have to buy them in packs of 3 otherwise, and keep buying them until you get a complete set.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's good marketing right there. So all of the illustrations are by the same artist?
Yes, Andrea Bormida. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, okay, and let's look at these tiers here. We got just the book, $20. And how many pages is this book going to be?
It is 72 full color pages. It's actually 62 pages of story, a few pages of extras and some portraits, and then, just some rich color with text.
Mm-hmm. And that's like your basic thin trade size, which is, you get a good amount of pages there. Is this going to be a perfect bound, like a trade paperback would be?
Yes, it is. It is going to be perfect bound. Yes.
Awesome. So we can put it on our
And
bookshelves, which I love.
yes, it's going to be bookshelf friendly, and all like there's another book already in creation. Just so we're clear, Captain Love is finished. This book is
Oh,
done. It is ready to go to print.
perfect.
Delivery is guaranteed. Delivery is guaranteed, even if we don't meet the extremely modest extremely modest goal that I set of $1,500. Even if we don't do that, if you back this book, you're getting a copy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's also important to know that the next book is actually called Rise of the Pirate King, and it's going to be 6 chapters that'll be released individually and then compiled into a graphic novel and then released as that way as well. The same way we're going to do it through Indiegogo to give the collectors and Comicsgate people, and War Campaign and all the people that are that love this kind of stuff, and we're going to give it to them first.
Now, is that in the same world as Captain Love?
Yes, it's going to Rise of the Pirate King is the first of the actual adventures beyond the backstory. So
Sweet.
this book is like the introduction of who a Captain Love is, and so you understand his backstory, and then this book actually ends with them starting their adventures. So the next book is like shortly after the end of this book. And chapter 1 is finished. It is already illustrated by by my illustrator, and it's at the colorist right now. So it won't be long before that is done, and lettering is done on it, and it's getting ready to be relaunched. So like when this campaign is over, I mean, I'm going to do a cooling off period. I'll probably leave this book in demand for a little while, and then when I pull it down, it'll probably be like a month or two, before I hit them with the next book. It depends on how fast I want to time out. I'm going to release chapter 1 in a good time for chapter 2 to be done, so that I can kind of just start cycling them on I really would like to do quarterly if I could, but I don't. I think that's aggressive for the Indiegogo market.
Yeah, and I think that's a great strategy. It's something that I'm trying to do with Zaid Comics. We're going to get Magic Cop fully fulfilled. And right now I'm working on my next project with a few different artists already. So we'll have a lot of the book done, if not the whole book done, when we send out Magic Cop, so we can go hit the ground running with the next book. So Hex Box here is kind of a backseat driving, saying let's get out of the perks. Thanks. So
all right, okay. So the first perk is $20. It is just the book. The shipping is included on that. So if you pay $20 on that and you are in the United States, you don't have a shipping charge at all. If you are out of the country, I discount the shipping for United States off of your international shipping. Cool. So you get a break either way. And the same deal with the variant, $20. Don't mark the variant up in this for any reason necessary. The variant is also just $20, shipping included, and that will hopefully be a one-of-a-kind item, because this variant cover is exclusive to this campaign. Cool. After this campaign's over, we'll do the print run for the orders, and there'll probably be a little bit of an overrun, but I'll never print that cover again.
Yeah, giving people options. I like that. Get that signed copy for an extra $5. That's awesome. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and then obviously both of them together.
Nice for those.
Yeah,
collectors.
and then sometimes people just want one signed and one not. So I put that option up there, and then I have a one book and then the whole complete set of trading cards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because people are going to want the complete set.
Yeah, people love trading cards. Like that's a big thing now on Indiegogo when you're putting books out. Trading cards either from other artists or just some awesome pinups that your artist has put together. You can totally turn into trading cards. And this is, we got some really cool ones going on here.
Well, I think after a while, if Captain Love, starts to catch some fire, in the community and whatnot, I'm probably going to have another contest. Where I'm going to do a fan art contest with probably a T-shirt as a prize or something like that, so that we can see who can start hitting some fan art. And I really like to see what people would do, because I mean I've only seen Captain Love in one finished version. So
right, yeah, we just ended. We're ending our fan art contest tonight at midnight, but we've had a bunch of submissions on Twitter, and it's really easy to do. You just tweet out that you're doing a fan art contest. Maybe if you have some artist buddies, people from the community, hit them up being like, hey, I'm doing this contest. You can win whatever, a t-shirt, a free book, whatever you want. And it's the coolest feeling, man, seeing your characters in someone else's eye that's not your regular artist. You get some wild things, and you're going to want to grab up some of that art for some future perks because some of it's going to be awesome. Kick ass.
Well, see, that's the thing. If the fan, that's one of the things that I'm also going to have about the contest. So for people who really want to do a good piece for me, and it's something they got to invest their time. Obviously, if the piece is super awesome, I'll probably be able to offer them some money for it so I can use it, and that way they actually not only did they enter the contest as a chance to win, but they're it's a way to say, hey, look, this is what I want to do, and if this is really good, and then I'll get paid for it, so they get used.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to.
I don't like people that.
Oh, sorry about that.
What's up? Yeah, I just don't like to. I like to pay everybody. You know what I mean? That if I can, because having people work for free, it's something that just rubs me wrong because it's happened to me a million times in my life. People trying to get me to do stuff for free all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like I'll do stuff for free for friends. You know what I mean? No problem. Especially if they there's something I can help them with or whatever because they're friends. You know what I mean? But it's not like I would build a whole freaking I wouldn't do something for just a friend that was like what I do for a living as in a way that they'd be taking advantage of me. You know what I mean?
Right. You build that networking, and it's good for everybody because you're paying guys to do art for you, and they'll hit you up back later.
Right.
Yeah. So you got this shirt here.
Well,
one book and a shirt.
One book and a shirt. Yeah. No, I'm closing a couple of applications because there was some noise that was picking up from somewhere, and I'm like, what the heck is that? I think my internet was getting hogged up by an application trying to update in the background. So.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. It's straight now, so I'm good. All right, so
cool.
So the t-shirt here, one book and one shirt for people that want the shirt, and the shirt comes in a few different colors, and obviously male or female. And then there's the one of everything pack, which is for people who want the original cover, the variant cover, the t-shirt, and a pack of trading cards. This is not all 9 cards. This is just one pack of trading cards. So.
All right, cool.
And then the couples pack is basically the original cover, the variant cover, and then 2 t-shirts because sometimes people couples enjoy comics together, so they can get they can share the books, they can each have a the cover they like better, and then they can each have a shirt, whether it's 2 men, 2 girls, man and a woman.
That's a good idea.
And then there's the collector's pack. Now the collector's pack actually comes with a shirt, which I neglected to include here, and I haven't had a chance to get around to alter the perk where I just drop it off and re-add it, with the shirt and the picture and in the description. But I make sure that I tell everybody that this perk does come with a shirt.
Cool. Yeah, I love the amount of perks you have on here. It gives people a lot to choose from, and guys, when you're making your Indiegogo, there's no downside to putting something on like the couples pack. If it doesn't sell, then it doesn't sell, and if then it does, there's no harm to it. You put it out there. It's a new idea that you could try out, and if people pick it up, then that's all the more reason to have it on there.
I studied what to do, and asked a lot of people before I actually put anything up.
Right.
And the hardest thing was to figure out was how to price the bottom tiers, because I didn't want to charge too much for my book. I really wanted to be like market friendly for Comicsgate, but also market friendly for people who would go to a bookstore and see it on a shelf. You know what I mean?
Right.
I still wanted to be somewhat market friendly there because Christmas time. I'm pitching this as Christmas presents to people because I intend to have, if you book, back during the campaign time, you will get your books in time for Christmas. You know what I mean? So I really push that, which is why the Santa pack, package. It's basically 3 books, 3 shirts, and 3 packs of trading cards.
Oh, that's really cool. And you do have a retailer pack here.
Yes.
And then the mother load.
The mother load is 5 books with 5 of the original, 5 of the Well, I mean, actually, I have a. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to scroll down to it over here. It's just let's see, because stupid computer not working. All right, never mind. It's basically five. It's like the Santa pack, but on steroids a little bit. It's fives instead of threes, and then there's except less shirts.
Oh yeah, 2 shirts, 5 books, and 5 variants, 5 original covers, and the 5 trading pack cards. Now, how many cards are in? Oh, okay, 3 cards in a pack. Okay, cool.
Right. Yes, exactly right. I tried to make that communicative, so for people who don't see the live streams, you know what I mean. Oh, and also another thing for people in the live stream, because you're watching the live stream, because if you follow me and I follow you on Twitter, if you contact me, and one of these perks doesn't work for you, and you would like something that's a different mix, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like maybe if you live in my town and you want to just X the shipping out altogether, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Contact me. I will make you a secret perk with a 1 option on it, a 1 count, and we will get that going. And I want to make sure everybody. If this is about moving the books, these items aren't locked in stone. These are just like the generic setups for people who are coming in there that don't know how to reach me, aren't even interested in talking to me.
Yeah, that's what's great about Indiegogo, and especially being a part of this community, is you get that open communication on social media. So fans and backers could message you whenever they want to be like, hey, what about this? What about that? And Indiegogo makes it so easy to throw up a secret perk that you could send to someone. Or I don't know if you took advantage of the add-on section.
I do the add-ons. Almost all these have an add-on in some way, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like like if it doesn't have a shirt in a package, you know what I mean, but you want to add a shirt, it's there. I'm actually thinking about doing add-ons to ones that have shirts for people who just want to get an extra shirt, And the reason why add-ons are essential is because some of the add-ons don't actually make extra shipping, because it won't change the weight of like some of the packaging. You know what I mean? It's maybe half a pound more. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, the add-on section is brilliant. More people need to utilize that, and I'm glad you're utilizing that too. So the nuclear option. I'm glad.
Well, let's hit the retailer pack option. I know there's probably no retailers in the chat right now, but maybe want to watch your stream later. This one is important because it's designed for the actual comic book shop owner, and I gauge this to okay, they may not get a chance to buy Captain Love stuff again for a year or whatever, and I'm going to be hitting Captain Love marketing from here till gangbusters and the day I die, pretty much, because I intend to release more books and more books and more books. And if a book, once it's in graphic novel format, it's about printing it when it goes out. The ones now the collector's items ones are special. Like for instance, these books are when they get released to Indiegogo, those ones are going to be the extra special collector's books. Like for instance, we get the 10K on this. We're going to actually do red foil and gold foil on the book where the title is. So the title will be foil in 2 different colors, which is not cheap, but it'll make this book extremely original and extremely valuable.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
And then the first 1,000 books that I sell, I'm actually going to put the number of the book stamped in gold on the back of the book. So
yeah, that's going to bump it up.
It's going to have the word book and then what number the book is, with 4 placements. I was intending to stop at 1,000. If I go more than 1,000 on this campaign, I'll take it higher but I won't stamp beyond this campaign. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you have retailer pack here. We always want to have it open so we can get into local comic shops and stuff like that. So that's really smart idea.
I think it's essential, and I also discount the pricing model. I discounted an extra 33% so that retailers can still price the same kind of model that we see here. So it makes sense for them.
Yeah, cool.
And then the nuclear option. This one is a fun one. This one's for the hoarders. because this book is going to be an exclusive version. If they really believe in Captain Love and they really believe in the future of Captain Love and they want to treat these books as a possible investment, I understand that that makes sense for people sometimes, especially if they have money to drop and they obsess on comic books. So I had to give them the option to do that. So you get 25 original copies, 25 variant copies, and this package is only for the United States, but there's no shipping on it. The shipping is included in the $500.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I love that you are doing these like these different names, like the nuclear option is really funny.
Yeah, it's probably the writer in me, the marketer.
Definitely. If you ever do you know what this character reminds me of? You ever play the old arcade game called Space Ace?
I have played Space Ace. Yes,
yeah,
I have.
Space Ace is great. I'm a huge fan of Dragon's Lair, and
yes, I was going to say Space Ace reminded me of Dragon's Lair when it came out.
Yeah, well, it's the same same Don Bluth worked on it, same company. Right. Yeah, so I work for the largest arcade in the world in Chicago here, and we have Space Ace, Dragon's Lair, Dragon's Lair 2. I had the record for Dragon's Lair for a really long time. That game was one of my favorites. But Space Ace is a little harder because you have to you turn into like the hero character from Dexter. Mm-hmm. He's like this wimpy guy. But Captain Love reminds me of Space Ace. It's awesome.
Yeah. Captain Love is a mixture of so many different heroes from my childhood and life and and things that I mean, he was basically, when I invented him, the concept was like, what did I imagine to be the most, I told you I was writing it for a 30-minute story for myself. So it was like, what would I want to do if I could choose? If I could fantasize an existence for myself, what would it be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a really sensationalized, young man's fantasy.
Yeah, sure. Simon Simpotier in the chat here. Shout outs to Sim.
Hail Sim.
Awesome
Hail
artist.
Sim.
Working on a bunch of books, a bunch of stories, a lot of stories in CG Jumpstart.
He did that. He did that. I was really impressed by the meme that the meme police artwork he did. That was floating around today. Yeah. I was really digging that. I tell you, that song is in my head. The Dream Police song, it's been in my head ever since I saw that. But Meme Police instead of Dream Police. Yeah, it's stuck there now. I just hear it like right now. I'm hearing it in my head, and it's not planned. It's just except in my head.
Hex Box wants 5 guys, so she wanted you to know that. So we're not ignoring her chats. Yeah, they really like 5 guys.
5 guys is they do make a tasty burger.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about your campaign, Drew? I'm really digging this. The art is awesome, and guys, the book is done already. So if you're backing this book, you're gonna get it no matter what. He's got plans for more stories in the future. It sounds like there's gonna be some space pirates, which I love pirates.
Yeah, there's space pirates in this book. If you scroll down, you actually can see a panel with a little bit of fighting right there. Right? No, up. You missed it. Right there. See the spaceships?
Oh yeah.
He's actually getting attacked by pirates right there.
Nice. So this is Captain Love's ship, huh?
That's his hauler right there. Yes. Cool. That's basically his version of a semi. It's it's roughly 3 stories tall. It holds a lot of boxes and reinforced and all kinds of. I mean, we don't get into the hauler details too much, other than just visuals in the book. But the next book actually goes into a little bit more detail. The hauler itself is a character in the story. It's even got its own trading card. So.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I love that, making vehicles really important to the story, and the fact that it's like his space truck. It always brings up that was that Deep Purple song, "Space Truckin'."
Right.
Blasts in my head when I see this book. So that's really cool.
Well, the whole space trucker concept seems like something that, like in the future would be like the blue collar job. You know what I mean? Because you can't really because of the nature of pirates, you can't have robots be truckers ever. You know what I mean? because they're not going to stand up to pirates. They're just going to get, they're going to get shot and ruined and take the load, So I think it's great. But you know what? I think we should start talking about your book. Let's talk about Magic Cop.
Cool. Yeah. We'll get back to this guy here. So Magic Cop. We're 14.
Wait, before we do that, we gotta give Hex the other plug. That one more time. If we get this book to 15K, if Captain Love, the Hero of the Cleansing, gets to $15,000 on this campaign, Vinny, the Boner Can't Confiscate, one of the sexiest female drawing artists out there, is going to do a pinup of the Queen of Venus and her slave girls, and Hex Box is going to be one of the slave girls.
How did she make that happen?
She was flirting with Adam and Vinny in my launch party, and it started out as something that was cute, but then it seems like a good idea because Hex is an awesome girl, and I think that she would, she's basically, family and the sexy part of the family. So we'll make it work.
Yeah, and definitely check out Cybershock because she's also going to be in that comic. I think it's a goal. I think it's a goal of hers to be in every comic. Yeah, she's playing this like cybernetic medic named Megan Decker, I think, in Cybershock. So sweet. Yeah, they just put that perk up there and she snaps it up. So that's awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so back this book.
Yes, back the book, and now let's talk Magic Cop.
Yeah, Magic Cop. Yeah, so we're 14 days left on Magic Cop. It's been a long run. It's been tiring promoting this thing for like 2 months, but it's been a lot of fun meeting new people. So this is my brother and I's comic. It's about Ignatius Cromwell, who is a new Magic Cop on the scene in the city of Ambrosia, kind of mixing that 80s Miami Vice feel with the monsters and magic of an IP like Halloween Town. So you have your sexy witch here named Helly. She goes undercover as a prostitute, and Magic Cop's partner, Grey Wolf, who is a wolf man on the verge of retirement. He's like our veteran. So you have that veteran rookie aspect to the book.
Gotcha. He's the Lethal Weapon Danny Glover.
Yeah, definitely. And he's kind of like, he brings the emotional side to the story too, because we see why he is so bummed out and burned out on his job and why he is in this perpetual state of being a wolf man. Something tragic just happened to him in his past, and it gets into that in the story.
Cool.
So he brings that emotional feel there. The main story is they're searching to crack this case on a dead mermaid that was found in the gutter. She was found mutilated. Her fin was cut up, and she was a prostitute. So
so you're talking about sushi fetish there? Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is I kind of conceptualized this cover. This is the first inside cover for the book. Yeah, but she gets all cut up, and they got to figure out why mermaids are going missing, why there's such a spike in the population in the city, and a lot of mermaids that are prostitutes now. So along the way, they'll find a lot of skeletons in the closet of the city. And yeah, we just finished the first chapter. All the art is done in the first chapter. Just needs to be, I think, like 5 page needs to be colored now. Hit our first stretch goal, so we upped the paper weight of the book. And also, everybody that backs the book is going to be getting this blockhead figure. It's going to be a piece of paper with a design on it is going to be shipped out to you guys. You can put it together yourself. And even the people that got digital copies are going to get a PDF of it so they can print it out and make it themselves.
So is it like one of those things where it's insert tab A into slot B kind of?
Yeah. It has it all. All the instructions are on the paper for you, so you just cut them out, and it's exactly what you said. There's little tabs, you fold them up and build this little guy. Shout out to the guys that were at Blockheads. Really did awesome work on this. Super psyched about it.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, what is up, Vosto in the chat? Vosto Vlad is the guy that made our soundtrack for Magic Cop. He's an awesome composer, synthwave guy. Hit him up if you guys need any music for your comics because he loves doing this stuff. He did a soundtrack for Monster MD. He did one for Deathsworn, and those comics are doing great and have awesome themes. So Vaso, thanks for helping out with Magic Cop soundtrack.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. And yeah, we got this other crossover. If you guys back Door Kickers and you back Magic Cop, then you're gonna get this free crossover print with this sexy succubus chick here by Ted Lehman and my colorist Eugene Bativu. Yeah, so check out the campaign and watch the trailer. We still have the Elliot Fernandez cover up for sale, the original. We also got a retailer pack. It comes with 5 books and a retailer poster. We have our naughty tier, which comes with 4 naughty prints. The inside covers of the book were actually drawn with nudity, and we censored them for the printing inside. But you could either in the add-on section, you could add on those 4 prints or them singly, and pick those up for people that love to live deliciously. So
yeah, well, yeah, I've seen some of the artwork that that Patreon supports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my brother has his own Patreon account. If
Yeah.
you guys go over to patreon.com/ZadeNinja, that's my brother, and he does a nude painting a week. So every week he puts a new one out of those. He just started that up.
He's got some mad skills, man. He's got some mad skills.
Yeah, he has that graphic design background, and he's getting better every day, man. It's awesome working with him.
So, what inspired this book with you guys?
So, like I said, we work for a arcade company, and we actually work on arcade games and designing them. This was actually just my brother pulled the title Magic Cop out of nowhere, and we're like, oh, that's a really fun title. What would that be if we could make it into an arcade game? So we came up with this. We merged like that 80s aspect because my brother's like, man, this was probably 2017. My brother's like, 80s is coming back full force. You know, we need to hit the 80s market because everybody loves the 80s right now. So my dad's favorite show was Miami Vice, and we mixed it with, magic elements and started working on an arcade game with it. Side-scrolling beat 'em up like Bad Dude, Streets of Rage, Final Fight. And out of that came these characters, a bunch of bosses that we created. And when that didn't get greenlit, we're like, oh, I love comics. I love writing. I've written comics in the past. Brandon and I have worked on comics in the past. Let's make this into a full story arc. And so that's where we are now.
Sweet. It's I like it because it's got that nostalgic feel to it. I mean, immediately when I saw it, I was thinking Miami Vice. I mean, you guys nailed that feel like 100%.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, so like, I grew up in the 80s, so I'm nostalgic for the 80s because of that. But also, the whole Wolfman concept. I mean, American Werewolf in London was one of my favorite movies, and that's also 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So like, this is like right up my alley. So I'm digging this. I think the first time I saw you guys talk about it, I'm like, I got to back this book.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and if you guys enjoy what you're seeing here, definitely check it out. Back it. We only got 14 days left. And we want to get to 100 backers pretty quick because we're doing another like secret stretch goal once we get to 100 backers. So I think we're at 78 right now. And once we get to 100, we're going to add something else that everyone's going to get. Our next stretch goal is at 5K, and that's going to be 2 bookmarks for everybody. And yeah. Check it out, and definitely check out Captain Love. Drew, thank you so much for being on here. It was a great time. Tell all the lovely fans where they could find you.
All right. Well, okay. So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/The Drew Love. You can find me there. Just like, and The Drew Love is also my Twitter handle. So it's pretty easy to find. Just remember, love is spelled like Captain Love, LUV. So.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to say about the book to our fine audience?
Just, I really want everybody to have a copy. So if my perks here are, not working for you, contact me. We'll figure out how to get you a damn book.
That's awesome. That's some service right there. And look, this has got sex, action, sci-fi, adventure. What more can you ask for? This is a badass book.
It's got romance too for those people who like romance.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
got a little bit of that even.
Walking on the beach. Like Captain Love loves walking on the beach. Nice walks on the beach. I dig it. I dig it. So cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Back this book and join us next time on Comics Great. It's a new show we're doing. Definitely hit that notification button if you haven't already, and subscribe to Mr. Eash channel, and subscribe here, because we put out videos every Monday talking about the new updates of Magic Comp, and we like to have a lot of fun on here. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming in. Sim, thanks for being here. Definitely check out Blood Hunt on Indiegogo. It is an awesome comic. It's in demand now. If you guys like babes, there's some babes in there, and vampires, Vampire Assassin, Blood Hunt.
I backed that one also. That one looks really good. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah,
those vampires are badass. So
yeah. And we'll go subscribe to Vosto. He's got an awesome channel, puts out awesome music on there all the time. I think he just finished an album that he'll be releasing soon. So that's great. And let's get Captain Love to 15K so we can see Hex Box in the
absolute most sexy drawing Vinny's ever been able to produce, probably. Let's push Vinny as hard as we can to get him to cross lines he's never crossed before.
Yeah, we'll have a talking to him. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. And it's been fun. See ya.